Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I love you, and I'm sending you a very big virtual hug wherever you are on the earth plane. So I quickly wanted to talk about the transformation, the shift that all of us are going through right now, and particularly in this now moment. So what is this transformation and shift? Like most of you know, we are moving into higher states of consciousness. We are shifting out of a lower frequency within our body and moving into a higher frequency within our body. How? High frequency light from the sun, which is a consciousness, is continuously moving into our bodies, high frequency light. And this light is alchemizing denser consciousnesses within us, denser light within us, allowing us to hold higher light, higher frequency. Okay? And when we do this, we move into higher states of consciousness. We start to be differently. Okay? We have access to consciousness or energy or light that we didn't necessarily have access to before because we were holding lower frequencies. So you have to hold the frequency that you're being, right? You can't tap into a frequency and be a frequency if you're not holding it within the physical body. Even though we are higher states of consciousness and we already are this higher consciousness in our body. We dropped in as higher consciousness, but we are in a dense physical form. And that physical form is going to dictate our state of being. It's like the cage, right? And so we have to navigate this cage. This cage has to increase its frequency, allowing us to feel the higher states and be the higher states, even though we are a higher state of consciousness inside this form. And so what's happening is our bodies are shifting and we are accessing higher states of consciousness. And what this means is we are starting to be more love, more peace, more abundance, more neutral, more allowing, more accepting, more empathic, more now moment, more flow state, more unified, more neutral, right? These are all higher states of consciousness that we all have access to as soon as our bodies are holding these higher states. And most of you are already holding these higher states. So you're tapping into it, and then you're tapping back down into these lower states because they're also still in us. Consciousness is energy, which is light. Emotions, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, paradigms, programs, all of it, the physical stuff you see, it's all consciousness, which is energy, which is light. So what's happening right now is this. I want you to imagine a huge lottery ball. You know when you used to watch the lottery on TV? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but there's a big lottery ball. That's your body. And there's all these numbers inside that lottery ball, okay? And those numbers are consciousness, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, programs, paradigms, limiting beliefs, everything that we experience in the third dimensional physical reality. Those are the numbers in there. And right now there is so much light moving into our bodies, and we are shifting and transforming so quickly that this ball is moving super fast, and in every now moment we are feeling these numbers pop up. An emotion, a thought, a behavior, a belief, a program, a relationship, a contract, a job, right? Every now moment we're experiencing these numbers. And the more awake you are, the more open you are, the more you are going to observe these numbers popping up. So here's how you navigate this, because a lot of you will think you're going crazy, right? And that there's something wrong with you. First of all, there's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with anything you think, you feel, you hear, you react to, you behave as. There's nothing wrong with it. You are in a human experience. It is not your fault. You've had human experiences that created your human journey. It's not your fault. And believe it or not, you are not in charge of how your body shifts. Your body's in charge of that, right? You think that you can control it with your mind, but your body is smarter than that. Your body is energy. And your body is shifting and moving you through this. And the more you can surrender into whatever is showing up, whatever number is popping up, the easier this is going to be for you. If you try to control it, if you try to make it right or wrong, I shouldn't be feeling this, I should be feeling this, I shouldn't behave like this, I should behave like this, I need to be moving into a higher state of consciousness, something's wrong with me, whatever those limiting beliefs are and those judgments, pay attention to them and allow them to relax. Try to stop judging your human journey. Is it possible? Can you try? There is nothing wrong with you. Now, once you move through that, there's two things I want you to pay attention to in your every now. One, your body is always at a baseline frequency, creating a resonance, which is a vibrational pulse that goes out of your body and allows you to navigate the energetic field. Everything is energy. And so it gives you that feeling of like, oh, this feels good. Oh, this doesn't feel good. Oh, I want to go there. Ooh, when I walked into that place, that didn't feel right. When I was talking to that person, something felt off, right? When I was listening to that video, everything in me was like, nope, not in it, not feeling it, not resonating. The resonance is your body's baseline frequency that pulsates out and allows you to navigate your energetic field, your reality, your now. Okay? And then after you recognize that there are numbers or consciousness constantly boiling up for you to see. And they're either going to align and resonate with your baseline or not be in alignment and resonate with you. For instance, if you all of a sudden are having a reaction to something that is anger or anxiety or fear, right? And your resonance is not in alignment with those numbers or consciousness that you're feeling, you're going to recognize this as not something that feels right. I don't feel right feeling anger. I'm recognizing that anger is coming up as that number, but it doesn't feel right to be in anger anymore. It doesn't feel right to be in anxiety anymore. There's something about my resonance that says, wow, this is an old consciousness I'm feeling. I'm familiar with this, but my resonance is in a higher frequency. So as I am feeling that anger or that rage or that anxiety, or as I am doing this behavior that I have done over and over and over again, it's not aligning and resonating. The piece is not fitting into my puzzle. So it feels off. If that happens, that means your resonance is higher than the consciousness or the numbers that are popping up, and it's time to alchemize it. And so you start by, first of all, no judgment. And second, you begin to allow yourself to just feel it. And third, you choose something different. Choose a different behavior. Choose a different response. Because you'll be able to if you're not resonating with how you're being. Now, if you feel anger, rage, anxiety, stress, fear, a behavior, whatever it is, and it resonates with you, it's going to feel right, including anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling anger. There's nothing wrong with feeling anxiety. There's nothing wrong with a behavior that may not be good for you right now. But if your resonance is at the same frequency as those numbers boiling up, the emotion, the behavior, the relationship, if it's at the same frequency, it's going to feel right. It's going to feel good. There's going to be something about that experience that's going to fit. So you'll feel it. You'll experience it. You'll react. You'll be. But what's going to happen is the more your body starts to move into these higher states of consciousness, the numbers that are boiling up, they're going to not resonate any longer for the sole purpose of alchemizing. So you're going to start to watch these numbers pop up, these consciousnesses pop up, and they're not going to fit anymore. This doesn't fit anymore. This puzzle piece doesn't fit. Don't get upset with yourself. Just see it as a number popping up in the lottery ball. Your resonance is in a higher frequency. There's not an alignment to it anymore. I love myself no matter what. I'm going to feel what it is, the number that's coming up. I'm going to see the number, feel the number, and then I'm going to choose differently. Can I choose to respond differently? Be the observer. Be the observer over and over and over again. How do I respond to this? What relationships am I in? How am I being in those relationships? What numbers are popping up? And if I am being in a relationship that is a normal sort of programmed way of being with this person and it doesn't resonate with me any longer, choose to be different. Start stepping into higher states of consciousness, which is inside of you. The reason you don't resonate with whatever's coming up is because it is time for you to change and be in a higher state of consciousness. And so the numbers are boiling up. Your body's saying, hey, we're in a higher frequency. Let's start being that higher frequency while you're still recognizing these lower states of consciousness you've been in for so long. It's time to change. Let's go. Choose. And so you're stepping out of this programmed way, this robotic sort of way of being where you don't think, you just be. You don't see, you just be. It's a knee-jerk reaction. So instead of this knee-jerk reaction, start to observe, start to recognize your body is always holding a baseline resonance, start to remember that there's all these numbers or consciousnesses that are coming up, and they're either going to align or not align. They're either going to fit or not fit. And if they don't fit, if it feels off, like, wow, I can't believe I just behaved that way, or wow, this relationship isn't fitting anymore, choose to start to be in a different state of consciousness, in a higher state of consciousness, right? And if that means that you start to love yourself through the relationship that you're in, that you're going to get out of, then you start there. Do I deserve to be in a different relationship? Do I love myself enough to get out of the relationship that's not serving me, right? Those are starting to step into higher states of consciousness. This behavior and interaction between me and my partner doesn't feel right. It doesn't resonate anymore. How do I start to move through this, right? How do I start to move through these patterns? You move into you more and more. You move into your body. You move into your frequency. You trust you. And you start to navigate what feels right. What feels right. And you stop judging. You stop blaming you, because there is nothing that you have ever done that deserves to be blamed or judged. You're just experiencing the human journey. And you've done the best that you can, and you continue to do the best that you can, no matter what your judgments and attachments are around you and your behaviors and your responses. You are a magnificent being of light. You are a ginormous, bright being of light, stuck inside a dense physical form. And never, ever have you done anything that is wrong, regardless of our duality, regardless of the right or wrong in the third dimension, the laws. Don't do this, do this. You're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Stepping out of that, you are a higher state of you are a higher being of light in physical form, navigating a very dense third dimensional physical reality, and you're doing the best you can. And right now we are literally transforming. We are being higher states of consciousness. Be aware. Remember, your body is always resonating out a baseline frequency that is always changing. That's the other thing, that the resonance is always changing. And these numbers are popping up over and over and over again. Do they resonate or not? And if they don't, choose a different way. Choose a different way. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving yourself and honoring your human journey.